Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I want to do a little chatty update of the planning and journaling system that has been working for me really well this 2025. This year has been my reset year, especially in terms of planning, and it was important to me to figure out a system that could help me get into new habits that were important for me that were being problematic in the past. But if you have not been here before, hi, I'm AJ and I love notebooks. And if you're interested in knowing how I use them, how I plan, please feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you. Just to give you an introduction before I start, I am one of these people that thought that was good at picking their planner system. But the truth is, I was just waiting for September to planner season and buying everything that I thought I would use. And I would go into YouTube and watch videos so that I could have ideas to justify that purchase. 2024 was different because I didn't do that. Somehow I missed planner season, and then December came and I realized that I had not achieved many of the goals I wanted. These were goals that were meant to become habits, and I had not been able to do that. So I said, you know what, I will just go back to basics, reset everything, and just purchase one notebook. So I went to a little shop that is very close to my house and I purchased this notebook. This is just a Leuchtturm notebook in the size A5, and I already had this cover from Gallen Leather. Now, this was going to be a bullet journal. That's what I thought I would do so that I could figure out what was going on. I did a cover and then I started doing my level 10 life. And I don't know if you can see, there's some ghosts in here, but the page is actually glue. I soon realized that this notebook was too big for me. I like to take my planner everywhere I go, so this was too heavy. And I don't know, I was just not comfortable with it. I could not see myself opening these and just checking my shopping lists for the groceries and things like that. So I thought I would set that aside for now and get myself the same brand but in a smaller size. And I had used this notebook before. I knew I loved it. I was very comfortable with the size. It's just it's super simple. I bought the grid paper because I prefer that. And this was going to be both my planner and my journal. I wanted to have only one book and rediscover what works for me and what doesn't, what is necessary for me and what isn't. I will not be able to show you all the pages. I cannot do a flip through of this notebook because there's a lot of personal writing in here and I never want to show that. But I can show you certain layouts, especially the first part, which is just the setup. I did a cover. It's very simple. It's not an artsy, super elaborate journal. It's just very minimal and boring, you would say. I chose a Bible verse for the year. I did a year overview, sort of like a future log, and I did it all the way to December, which was completely unnecessary because this notebook lasted only till May. And then I just went to January. There are no collections, there's nothing. My level 10 life is here at the back that I will not show. So I did a monthly overview, very simple as you can tell. And I wrote here goals, the books that I wanted to read. I color coded a little bit and I did a tracker. Trackers is something that I don't play with a lot. I only draw them, or if I have a planner, I only use them when I need them. It's not something that I do in a monthly basis. It's just, it doesn't work for me that well. And then the weeklies, they are very simple. They look like this. I would leave this part free for goals or priorities. Here I would put appointments or special dates. And here I would write a to-do list. Very small, super simple. And then I got into my dailies, which were both to-do lists or just journal entries. I was using this notebook for everything. You can see some layouts here. For instance, my knitting notes, it's my knitting progress if I have to count rows or stitches. What do we have here? I was also experimenting with layouts. For instance, this is a time blocking system that I thought I may use. Back then, I did not need it. Now I think I will, now that my life has changed a little and I have much more things to do. So this was amazing. I realized that this is the sort of weekly layout that works for me. And of course, alongside with the monthlies. Now, unfortunately, I realized it's too late in the year. It was already May, so I was not comfortable in purchasing a Hobonichi or another planner and leaving all those 5 months blank. So what I did was I got my next book. It's the same one, and I did June here. And for July, I knew this layout was similar to that of the weeks, the Hobonichi weeks, or also the Moleskine. And I'm sure many other planners, but from the ones I know and have used already, these are the ones that I like. So you have seen this Moleskine. So what happened was that because I was already very comfortable with my bullet journal and this layout in particular, I realized that I did not want to draw the monthlies, I did not want to draw the weeklies. And that's when in July I got this Moleskine. I love this planner. I've used it in the past and I'm always changing this one or the Hobonichi. In all honesty, if I would have to pick, I would have picked the Hobonichi weeks. But I needed something that, I'm weird that way. I don't like to leave blank spaces, and it would have been 5 months. So I decided to go with this one. It's going to be good till 2026. And the only downside that I have with this planner is the monthlies. I really don't like them. They're too small. I wish they would give us a month in 2 pages, but nothing is perfect. So maybe for 2027, if this system still goes well, I will go back to the weeks. Now I take this planner everywhere. I store it here in this Travelers Company cover. It's a blue one. I love it. I do shopping lists in this little insert here that previously used to be a journal, or I wanted to be a journal, but I think I journaled like 3 pages and then I realized I did not like the size. So I just use it for notes and shopping and things that sometimes I have to remember. I have to change the setup for next year because this setup, I've had it since 2023. I want to change that because this folder is very old and I would like to get a sticker book insert. We shall see. But at the moment, this is working really well. So I have now this planner for my planning, of course, and now this is just my journal. So for 2025, I'm thinking to keep the exact same system. Perhaps I change the brand of the notebooks. However, I find that is not the main thing. That's just preference when it comes to brands or paper or what pens you like to use. The important thing is that this system works. It was good for me to just go back and figure out my needs because this was the year that I finally made a routine out of the habits that I wanted to implement. And basically they were 2. The least personal ones that I want to talk is my reading and my exercise. So how I accomplished that, because this is just about the system. But what helped me was actually this notebook, the one that I was going to previously use as my planner. I didn't know what to do with this notebook. I thought it was beautiful in this cover and I knew I wanted to use it, but I did not want to start I thought maybe I do collections, maybe I do habit trackers here, maybe I do, I don't know. I was searching on the internet for ideas on how to use this notebook. However, looking back to 2024 and seeing how poorly I did in achieving those main goals, which were my reading and exercise, I realized that maybe this could be the tool that would help me this year. So I ended up turning this into a reading journal. Now, it's not a reading journal as you see on YouTube with beautiful spreads and a lot of ideas and rankings and book bingo. No, it's the most simple, and actually it's the ugliest book that I have. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that this changed my life. And this is why. So every time that I did my New Year's resolutions, I would say I'm going to read at least one book per month. That gives me a minimum of 12 books. And then I said I will also exercise at least 4 times a week. That was it. So to me, those were more or less specific goals. They had a number. Apparently, my brain needs it specific to the amount of pages to read per day. Otherwise, I do not make it. So now I'm going to show you how that happened. I made an AJ's reading list. So I researched and I thought, you know what, I do not want to die without having read these books now. Some of these are actually rereads. So what did this was, it gave me a very specific plan. I was able to even calculate the amount of pages I needed to read per month. So I know if I am going to read in January Crime and Punishment, in order to finish it, I have to read at least a number of pages per day. It has 600 pages or around that. So I finished it in the 20th of January. So what did I do? Because I wanted to make this a habit, of course, I was not just take 10 days free. I joined a book club in Goodreads. It's a Catholic book club. So every time that I could finish a book more or less early, I would take one of the reading lists, because I did not set myself a really big goal, like 100 books per year, like I know people do. I cannot do that. I know myself. I mean, last year I read 4 books, and I think 2 were rereads. And very easy, not challenging at all. Here I challenged things a bit. I added some novels, philosophy, theology. I added some history books because I wanted a little mixed bag of different types to exercise the brain. So that has actually helped me a lot. I'm already on book 19. So my goal has been reached and surpassed. What happened later was that my husband was happy for me, of course. He was also excited, but he has no time. He works in the computer the whole day, so he gets very tired. So we did an AD read aloud list. And what that means is that we pick a book and I read it aloud and we both enjoy it. I divided it in seasons. So let's take this one for winter, that was 1984. This one's for the spring, this one for the summer, and for fall, well, we want to change this one. And it has gone really well. We are very happy about that, because sometimes you don't know what to do on a rainy day, and this was a very nice activity for us to sit on the sofa, have a cup of tea, and enjoy a good book. It was really satisfying to be able to do this with my husband. And the rest is just summaries of the books. I wanted to remember, this is like a sort of mental exercise that I do. So I finish certain chapters or the whole book if it's not so long, and I just write my thoughts or my criticism, or for instance from 1984 I did not like the ending, so I wrote my own, and it's here. Of course I will never share it, but I love my ending. And these, when I decided, for instance, how many pages I need to to achieve to read these. In the end, it changed, and I ended up just devoting 1 hour of my day to reading. So when I did my schedule, which is here, my perfect schedule, I decided to get up earlier. That started a sort of domino effect when it came to habits. So I was already very awake in the morning. I already had my coffee, so I was then just ready. I would finish my pages of the day and then just start cleaning or making breakfast or showering or whatever. Then I thought, okay, this is going really well. I think it was May when that happened. And I decided I will start working out because I have so much time now in the morning that I will wake up half an hour earlier and that will be my workout. So I added that to my timetable, and my life changed. I was so happy. I've been working out constantly since May, and I can see that progress in my body, but I also see that progress in my habit. It does not require the exercise of my will that much anymore. It's just something that, okay, I wake up, do my reading while I have my coffee, then have a little to eat because I don't like to exercise with an empty stomach, and then I start my workout. And I cannot believe it. My back has improved so much. I had a back injury, so I can finally bend forward, which I was not able to do for 2 years, and it happened on my birthday. So I'm getting older and fitter. I'm very happy about that. So that's what has been working for me. I still have another little book that I use for memory keeping. I have been using this for years, and one day I will give you a flip through of this year, but I have not covered the faces, and I put a lot of pictures here, so I don't like to show them. It's just scrapbooking and, fun journaling, nothing personal. Anybody can read that. So that has been my system this year. For 2026, I am incorporating another planner, which is the Kokuyo Jibun Techo. It's a weekly planner because I want to track how I spend my hours, because I still think that I can improve that. This planner does not give me an overview of my hours. It just shows me what I have to do per day. But I do need that. Of course, that will stay home, and I will set it up in another video. But I wanted to show you this today. It's a very simple system, but it's working for me. There's nothing trendy here, but I'm still super happy. And I hope that if you are also struggling with achieving your goals, maybe it's time for a reset as well, and just make your notebooks work for you and not the other way around. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and until next time, bye.